Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Captain Lou Extravaganza. We are live here on 12 Ounce Sports and, of course, the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. Happy Wednesday, everybody. July the 17th, 2024. Sorry about the late start. Hey, you got to love the magic of live TV, right? And when you're kind of at the mercy of the internet, who knows sometimes what's going to happen, but we are here. We are live, and we are happy to be here on the Captain Lou Sports Network and 12 Ounce Sports. Brought to you, as always, by tickets.12ouncesports.com. There's a sporting event you want to go to. Get yourself ready for football season, college or pro, whatever, or Major League Baseball. The dog days of August are coming up, the pennant races. Who knows, even our Detroit Tigers might make a run after an exciting weekend against the Dodgers. And they had a good week. They've won 8 out of their last 10. But to get those tickets, make sure you go to tickets.12ouncesports.com and use the promo code 12 ounce as well for an even better discount. Also, we're brought to you, as always, here on the network by Javi Coffee, the official coffee of the Captain Lou Sports Network. Any kind of flavor you like, instant coffee at its best. Regular decaf, salted caramel, French vanilla, mint. There's double chocolate. I'll tell you, they're getting new flavors every day. Check out the website. That is javicoffee.com and use the promo code Captain Lou and you'll get 15% off of your purchase. That is javicoffee.com. Also brought to you by Simple. We'll show you that ad here in a little bit. Our newest sponsor here on the 12 Ounce Sports. We mentioned happy July, everybody. Kind of the dog days of summer, if you will, baseball-wise or sports-wise too. You know, once upon a time, when it was All Star Week in Major League Baseball, there was nothing going on Tuesday or on Monday rather and Wednesday. The All Star Game always on a Tuesday night. Now we've got the WNBA, and they're going to be going to their All Star break as well coming up this weekend, I believe. So I think tonight's the last regular season game for a few days for them. So kind of a lull period in the world of sports. Everybody catching their breath, taking vacations or whatnot, just like yours truly, as I'll be heading up for my annual venture up to northern Michigan. Little cottage by the lake that we rent with family. It's going to be an absolute treat next week. Can't wait for that. But so kind of a I don't want to say a dead period, but Major League Baseball taking a break, minor league baseball falling in line with it as well with the All Star break. And so they're not playing again until Friday. So, it's a chance for everybody to kind of take their breath and get recharged as the world of sports is going to pick up big time here coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks from now. We've got training camps. They're starting up with the rookies already in the NFL. Some of the teams are reporting early. The Hall of Fame participants, the Hall of Fame game is what, 3 weeks, I think, or 2 weeks or whatever it is. It's coming. The summer is flying by. It always does, especially when you get older, right? But, so that's coming up. We've got media days starting for the big conferences in college football. The SEC going this week, the Big Ten next week, the ACC, the Big 12's already had those. We've got conferences expanding, a whole different layout, I should say. And of course, the 12-team playoff coming up this year in college football. Home sites for the first round matchups. As I posted on my article that you can read at 12ouncesports.com, just hit the article tab. What I'm looking forward to, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, whatever down the road, is a Southern team finally having to come up north and play in a bowl scenario when they're away from home. How many years did the Big Ten have to go out to Pasadena to play the Rose Bowl for what more, was always a home game for USC or UCLA? Well, now, they may come up, it could happen this year even. A Georgia could travel to Penn State or a Florida State coming up to Ohio State to play an opening round of a playoff, or who knows, we could get a rematch of week 2 between Michigan and Texas. So college football starting back up, so much to go over coming up starting in August to get ready for the NFL season. And of course, it just goes full bore after that. We've got so much in the works here. We're going to be previewing each conference, each of the 4 major conferences this year, each week on the Extravaganza. We're going to preview the NFL too, coming up to week 1, which is Labor Day weekend. It is going to go non-stop. And then, of course, we've got the 9th season of the ACHA Power Play starting up in September. Then training camp for hockey. I'll tell you what, this is, if you want to get a little rest period, this is the time to do it starting next week, because after that, once the end of July comes up, well, I'll tell you what, it is going to be nonstop, like I said. And also, with the coming of football season, it's back. That's right. The Captain Lou 6-Pack Challenge is back. Again, how it works is we take 3 games pro, 3 games college against the spread. I bet against the spread. Your job is going to be to beat me with those picks. And if you do, you're in the drawing for great prizes. We've got a lead on some excellent prizes this year. It's going to be better than it ever was on the Captain Lou Extravaganza here on 12 Ounce Sports and the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. So I invite you to stick around, be a part of that this year. We have a lot of fun with that throughout the year. And seems like your best chance to beat me is always in the beginning, because after that, once I get going, I seem to pick up steam. So you want to get in the drawing. There's no purchase necessary. You can enter as many times as you want to. So looking forward to bringing that back here after a little bit of a hiatus. Well, we mentioned the All Star Game last night rather, the American League and National League. American League wins 10th time in the last 11 years that the American League has won. And Jaden Duran, he gets the MVP for that 2-run blast against the National League. But boy, I don't know. Did you see, the Stars came out last night, and it was a good showing. I didn't watch much of it. I was a little disappointed that Tariq Skubal didn't get the starting nod, but I get it. He pitched on Friday. I get all that. 100 pitches, whatever. Don't get me started on that. Again, read one of my other articles on 12 Ounce Sports, and you'll see on our website, the 99 pitches that Skeens gets pulled, going to be pitched. He's got a no-hitter. But anyways, the American League and National League got together again for the All Star Game. American League wins 10th time in 11 games. But my goodness gracious, what the hell is up with those uniforms? I thought I was watching a slow pitch softball game. I thought for a minute when I turned it on last night, it was the celebrity softball game that they have. Boy, I was talking to my wife about it earlier tonight, and I said, I don't want to be that old man, get off my lawn type of guy. I don't want to go down that road. I'm a traditionalist. I get it, but I understand some of the new rules. I'm warming up. I don't mind the pitch clock. I don't mind 3 tosses over to first base. I don't like the artificial runner to start the 10th inning on second base. I think that's stupid. I don't like that. I get it. But I wish they would go back to letting these guys wear their own uniforms when they're in the All-Star game. I would have loved to have seen Paul Skeens in that. I love the Pittsburgh Pirates uniforms. Always have loved them. I wish he would have been there in that. Seeing Skubal and Riley Green in the Old English D. Not something that we used to wear, or, like they used to wear for Harry's Oilers back in Munising in fast pitch softball. Those uniforms look better than what the National League, or the American and the National League, but especially the American League. Can you come up with a better color scheme than that? Boy, that was ugly. But hey, the Stars came out. It was cool to see Shohei Ohtani get the home run blast. That's what everybody paid to see, and he came through. It was a fun game. The American League wins again. Not that there's anything at stake. Thank goodness they don't give home field advantage to the winner. For example, whoever comes out of the American League, they're not going to get home field advantage in the World Series now. Thank goodness for that. It's all over, so we don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, so the All-Star Game is history. Now we got to turn our attention again to the MLB standings and the divisional races. Again, we've talked about it every week now with baseball season taking center stage, but the Yankees and the Orioles they're neck and neck. Baltimore won the Sunday, the weekend finale. They were all knotted up, and Baltimore was able to snag that one to have a 1-game lead over the Yankees. And so They've got the lead in the American League East. Cleveland, their lead has shrunk to 4.5. The Twins are coming. Detroit had a great week, a great series against the Guardians, sweeping the Guardians, and of course, then taking 2 out of 3 out of the Dodgers. Actually, 3 out of 4 from the Guardians, and then taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. But Cleveland's lead is now 4.5 on the Twins. They're coming. Kansas City hanging on to a playoff spot right now. Or actually, they're trailing the Boston Red Sox, who got that third playoff spot. Boston playing some amazing baseball. And then we mentioned it. Seattle's lead is down to 1 game over the Houston Astros. I told you at the beginning of the year, don't let that start fool you. The Astros are coming. They're only 1 game out. They got Verlander back. I think he's going to go for one last hurrah. You can never count out the Houston Astros right now with that core of players that they've got. And then the National League, you got the Phillies, the best team in baseball, hands down. They're loaded. 62-34, comfortably ahead of the Cleveland Guardians for the best record in all of Major League Baseball. They've got an 8.5 game lead over the Atlanta Braves. They'll be there in the playoffs, no doubt about it. And the Mets are 12.5 back, playing some good ball, trying to sneak into a wild card. Then you got the Brewers with a 4.5 game lead over the Cardinals. Cardinals never go away. They're always there. That's a winning tradition. That's a traditional program. Then you got the Dodgers, 7 games up, and lo and behold, who's starting to make their run now to the a potential wild card spot, that being the Arizona Diamondbacks. We all know went all the way to the World Series as a wild card. So, the first question we talked about this a couple of different times, is winning the division that big a deal anymore? Home field advantage really doesn't matter that much in Major League Baseball. I mean, look at the wild card winners who have gone to the World Series. Texas Rangers won it as a wild card. The Diamondbacks went as a wild card. The Philadelphia Phillies, the Braves winning all those divisions. Does it really matter? I mean, getting the number 1 seed, you get to pick who you play, I guess, in the opening round, whatever. But there's going to be some fun pennant races. Even the Dodgers. I know they got a comfortable lead right now on the Diamondbacks, but they've got no pitching. Their starting pitching is decimated. So that brings me to the $1 million question. That's going to be the watch right now, is what's going to happen with Detroit. Are they going to be buyers? Are they going to be sellers? Is Tariq Skubal going to be a Tiger on August 1st? That's the big question right now. And I know it was for a long time, are the Lions going to the Super Bowl, which is crazy talk to begin with, but they are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. But right now, the big question in the Motor City is, how many more starts does Tariq Skubal get in a Detroit Tiger uniform? You read that the Dodgers, the Orioles are hot after him. I'm still saying, keep him. If they trade away their ace, if they trade away their centerpiece, then I'm done. I'm 100% done with the Tigers. Now, here's the difference to me between the Tigers and the Red Wings, because the Red Wings are going through it right now too. The Pistons, well, who knows where they're going. The Pistons gave us 6 trips to the Stanley Cup Finals in their 25-year run. The Red Wings won 4 Stanley Cups from 1997 to 2008. They deserve the rebuild that they're on right now, and I think they're making the right track. The Tigers, they've been to 2 World Series since 1984. They've been really bad. They were good for a decade, couldn't take advantage of it. They've been real bad. And the regime they've got right now, there's no track record. Steve Yzerman built a Stanley Cup champion in Tampa Bay. Scott Harris and Al Avila have not built anything. So my patience to them, they've got to show it to me. They've got an opportunity right now with Skubal, and they've got Olsen, and they've got some youngsters coming up, Riley Green, whatever. Jackson Jobe will be up. Don't trade Skubal. If they trade him, it's like and I know everybody said they could get a king's ransom. But how do we know that Harris is a good judge of talent? That means we're starting over again. And I don't want that. If the Tigers trade Skubal, like I said, there'll be a moratorium. I mean, I'll talk about baseball, but the Tigers, I won't watch or listen to another game. Like I said, we can't watch the Tigers here in Grand Ledge, Michigan, anyways, the Palatial Studios with Comcast and Bally Diamond Sports Group, whatever you want to call it. But I'm done if they trade Skubal. You know, they haven't proven to me that they can do anything, that being the Tigers. Right now, they're playing well. They've got a good young nucleus. Why break it up when you've got a potential Cy Young Award winner on your roster? Build around them. You've got a decent pitching staff. But if that's the Tigers' way, you know, it's like I mentioned. When is it time to start playing for now, AJ Hinch and Scott Harris, instead of playing for the future? When is the future now? How many more years are you given a pass for the rebuild? Like I mentioned, the Red Wings gave us 6 cups or 6 Stanley Cup final appearances in their 25-year run. 4 cups. They get a break. They've got a guy building a team that has proven he could do it. The Tigers have given us 40 years of not much. 2 World Series appearances, no titles. I just don't think that they deserve the leeway that the Red Wings have gotten. That's just me. I don't know. Call me crazy. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk a little football. That's what we like to talk about here on the show as well. And just a few other things here on this Wednesday, July the 17th. You're watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza. It's live right here on 12 Ounce Sports and the Captain Lou Sports Network. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here from 12 Ounce Sports and, of course, the Captain Lou Extravaganza and Captain Lou's championship years in sports history. Hey, if you're like me, you love to go to ball games. Baseball, football, basketball, whatever. Minor league baseball, especially this summer, there's nothing better than a Saturday night game, Major League or minor league baseball, Sunday afternoon. I've got the place for you to go to get those tickets for those games. Tickets.12ouncesports.com. We are a ticket broker, which means we don't charge you the exorbitant fees that you might see on some of those other secondary markets. Hey, if there's a concert you want to go to this summer, tickets.12ouncesports.com. Use the promo code 12ounce as well, and you'll get a better discount. Tickets.12ouncesports.com. It's that simple. Can't say it enough. For the best prices on tickets this summer, make sure you go to tickets.12ouncesports.com. Did I tell you? Tickets.12ouncesports.com. And of course, use the promo code 12ounce and you'll get an even better discount. That's tickets.12ouncesports.com. Also, our show tonight brought to you by the official coffee of the Captain Lou Extravaganza, Captain Lou Sports Network, all of our shows that we do here on 12 Ounce Sports. That is javicoffee.com. Check out Javi Coffee. If you like instant coffee or if you like regular coffee, you can be like me. You can be a convert. You could drink it hot or cold. They've got regular, decaf, salted caramel, French vanilla. That's my go-to. Irish cream, mint, chocolate, you name it. There's so many more new flavors. It's so simple to use. A couple of teaspoons or a tablespoon. No coffee grounds to worry about. It's very easy to use. There isn't the mess. And I'll tell you, it tastes great. Iced coffee, hot, however you want it. That's javicoffee.com. And when you're there, make sure you use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase. That is javicoffee.com. All right, again, welcome back, everybody, to the Captain Lou Extravaganza here on this Wednesday, July the 17th, 2024. Hope you enjoyed the All Star Game yesterday. Major League Baseball gets back in action this weekend. We talked at length about it. We've given you the standings, the teams to watch out for. Yankees and Baltimore are going to have a duel right down to the end. The Red Sox trying to make some hay, as we talked about. And of course, the Cleveland Guardians, the surprise team. Didn't think they'd be this good, but they're right there. And so it'll be fun to see that. And of course, the regular suspects, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Brewers in the National League. All right, football season, we talked about it. Right around the corner, college and pro football starting up right around Labor Day weekend. They've got media days going on right now in the SEC. And of course, big changes in the SEC on the field, off the field, whatever you want to talk about. Two brand new teams coming up in the Big 12, from the Big 12 going to the SEC. Texas and Oklahoma making the jump to the SEC. Now we're going to see how good Steve Sarkisian really is. We're going to see how good Venables is at Oklahoma. They're going from the frying pan into the fire. They're going to go where the big boys play now. Here in Big Ten country, it's hard for me to say it, but I know Michigan won the national championship last year, but still the SEC, top to bottom, in my opinion, is by far the best conference in all of America. So now we're going to see how good Texas is. It's crazy, though. Their first big matchup of the year isn't in the conference. It's going to be up in Ann Arbor on September 7th when they take on the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines. But it's a lot of just crazy things going on. Of course, Stanford and Cal in the ACC. And of course, in the Big Ten, you've got Washington, you've got Oregon, UCLA, and USC all making the jump. It's an 18-team Big Ten, all one division, as crazy as it sounds. And coming into the year, probably Oregon and Ohio State have got to be the top two teams, at least on paper, coming into the Big Ten season. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So many new things going on with these conferences, and of course the 12-team playoff coming up, home sites for the opening round games in December. Can't wait to see a cold weather matchup there. Could it be Penn State hosting one? Michigan? I don't know. Ohio State? Who knows who else? Utah, potentially, out of the Big 12, hosting a cold weather matchup in December, the week before Christmas. Man, it's just so many new things to kind of wrap your head around. Of course, NIL and the portal. But getting back to the SEC and the Big Ten, you've got coaching changes galore, and of course, the big one. It's so crazy. I was watching the SEC network for a little bit this afternoon, and over here, just kind of had it in one ear when I was doing some work. And Nick Saban, he retired on the same day of I'm drawing an absolute blank. That's why the Seattle Seahawks coach Pete Carroll. There we go. Two high-profile coaches quitting on the same day. I got to tell you, I don't normally promote other networks or other formats, but if you want to read a great article, go on The Athletic and read the article about Nick Saban and the effect that his resigning had on. It's like 400 variables on coaches changing and whatnot. But Nick Saban, of course, no longer the coach at Alabama, and you've got Kalen DeBoer now going to be the head man at Oklahoma, or at Alabama rather, right after he took the Washington Huskies to the national championship game against Michigan. So that's the big change right now. And it was kind of weird seeing Nick Saban, being an analyst, on the SEC channel and on ESPN, whatever, with the media days going on there. That's going to be something we're all going to have to get used to. Probably the best coach of all time in college football. You can argue it all you want. I know you can go back. Maybe there's some other ones way back in the day, but when you've got as many national championships as Nick Saban has, it's hard to argue. If he's not the GOAT, I don't know who is. So I'm going to go with that. But that's going to be something to keep an eye on in the Big Ten, or in the SEC. The Big Ten, of course, Jim Harbaugh wins his national championship at Michigan. He goes to the LA Chargers to be the head coach. Now we've got Sharon Moore at the top of the heap at Michigan. They've got the big old bullseye on their back. They've got a huge schedule right out of the chute with USC and with Texas right out of the get-go. I see they're supposed to play Fresno State, I believe, but their coach, Tedford, resigned yesterday due to health issues. So it's interesting to see how that's going to end up. We've got so many variables. How about Chip Kelly going to Ohio State as an offensive coordinator? He leaves UCLA, staying in the Big Ten, or going to the Big Ten. UCLA now going to the Big Ten. It's just, it's going to take so long to get used to these setups as far as all the new coaching changes. Just, again, just all kinds of different changes. That's what's going to make it so much fun this fall to talk college football. I mean, we're going into some uncharted territory here. 12-team playoff, 18-team Big Ten, 16 teams in the SEC. Who knows if the ACC after this year is going to be a conference or what they're going to do. Florida State wants out of there so bad. Where are they going to go? It's already been reported the Big Ten doesn't want them. The SEC doesn't want them. I don't buy it. I got a feeling that Clemson and Florida State are going to leave the ACC, and then Notre Dame's going to finally follow them. You can say what you want. I'll take the word of all those people like I take college football head coaches' words. Contracts don't mean anything. It's all about the money. And if there's a legal loophole or a way where Florida State and ACC can get out, I guarantee you, if they came to the Big Ten and really said, hey, look, man, we want in, or the SEC, they'll take them. I guarantee it. And I got a feeling it's going to end up, down the road. It might be 10, 15 years. We're going to have two big conferences. And especially now with the NIL and, the transfer portal the way it is, it's just such a different dynamic in college football. I could go off on a tangent, but, sticking with college football for a moment, it's crazy. I was listening to something on the radio the other day, and they're absolutely right. The talented high school senior right now in all college sports, not just football, men's and women's basketball, you name it. They're not recruited first anymore. Maybe the ultra talented one, maybe. But you got 5 stars that aren't going to be recruited because you've got these college coaches now keeping an eye on the portal, keeping an eye on who they think they might be able to offer money to. Maybe not the coaches, but you know what I mean. This is where you're going to see 4 and 5 star athletes, I think, go to schools like Central Michigan or Boise or wherever that aren't the top of the heap. Now, God bless Boise. I get it. They've made runs, but, they don't have the budget. They don't have the manpower, whatever, some of these big elite schools. That's where but you're going to see some of these smaller schools benefit from some of these good players, but they're only going to stick around for a year. So the turnaround is going to be, that's the difference that you're going to see in college sports if it hasn't already started. So I don't know, just kind of something to keep an eye on. It really is. And, I look at a team like Michigan State getting a brand new coach this year, Jonathan Smith. I got to tell you, I look at that, and we're going to talk about this in our previews coming up in August for college football. But Jonathan Smith right now, Michigan State's over-under for wins is 5. He brought in Aiden Childs. He's got some nice talent coming in. Now, I know they've got a brutal schedule in the middle, but they've got Boston College, Maryland, who's coming up with a new quarterback, Florida Atlantic, and Prairie View. You're telling me they can't go 3-1 out of those first 4? Then they got a brutal 4-game stretch with Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State. I can't remember the 4th one. Okay, so they'll be 3-5. Then they've got some cupcakes in the last 4. I'm telling you, they're a 6 or 7 win team right there. And with, Aiden Childs hasn't played in the Big Ten. It's going to take a while for teams to get used to him. That's why I think they could go on a nice little run. You see me right here. I'm a Michigan guy, right? Michigan fan. Watch out for the Spartans. They're my sleeper pick this year. They could easily win 7 games, if not more. they'll be back in a bowl game. But then after this year, who knows? That's when the bidding wars could start. If Childs has, a banner year at Michigan State, who doesn't say Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia or whoever ponies up $5 million for him? That's where we're going. And the other thing with Michigan State, let's say Smith wins 9 games. Let's just say he goes on one hell of a run, right? Beats Oregon, beats Michigan. Let's say he beats Michigan. They're only paying him, I think, $7 million. You don't think he's going to go back and say, hey, I want to renegotiate? Or he'll go back to Washington or to Oregon or wherever, where he'll get 10, 11, $12 million. That's what it's all about. That's going to be interesting to see. But we're going to be so knee deep in it, as I said. Can't wait for it to begin in August. And it goes right. It's just a whole different parameter right now in college sports. All right, we're going to kind of just wrap things up here tonight. Again, just it's one of those weeks where really there isn't a whole lot going on. The trade deadline coming up in Major League Baseball, that's going to be July 31st. So we've still got 14 days away from that. We talked about it in the last segment. Is Tariq Skubal going to go? Is he going to be in a Tiger uniform coming in August? He better be. The Tigers are really serious about winning. We'll have to wait and see on that. Pro football again, starting back up. Their training camps are opening up. The rookies are starting to report. Boy, it's some of the teams that, obviously we've got Super Bowl fever here in Detroit and Michigan. Obviously they haven't made it yet, but they've got the talent to get there. They're going to be one of the most, they're going to be one of the favorites. Let's face it. They're going to be a top 5, top 6 team at the beginning of the year. Of course, you got Kansas City. You've got San Francisco. A lot of people love the Rams. Then, you've got Philadelphia will be back. Dallas will make their regular season run and peter out in the playoffs. Are the Packers the real deal? Baltimore is going to be right there. Miami, supposedly. I don't know, the Chargers, whoever. One thing, though, I want to say, I've been hearing these rumors. Davante Adams, everybody says he may want to hook up with Aaron Rodgers again in New York for the Jets. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. If Davante Adams really wants to win a Super Bowl, seriously, he might want to stay in Vegas or go somewhere else because they're not going to win a Super Bowl. The Jets are not going to win the Super Bowl. No way. Not with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. No way. That'll be the biggest mistake they make is getting Davante Adams because he'll do with him like he did when they're in Green Bay when they lost to San Francisco in the playoffs. He won't throw to the other receivers. He'll get locked into this guy, and that'll be it. So if you're not a Jets fan, you want Davante Adams to go there. But if you're a Jets fan, you don't want Davante Adams. And if he wants to win a Super Bowl, he's got to go somewhere else. I mean, and also on the trade market or demanding a trade today, I think it was Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. And I heard that the Lions are one of the rumored teams that may take a flyer on him. What would Detroit have to give up? Now, the 49ers say that they're not going to trade him, but we've heard that story before. Who holds the cards? Who holds the power? Who could go after him? I know the Lions, Detroit's got some good weapons with Williams and with Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I doubt if they would really seriously go after him. But there's some other teams out there that would definitely take a flyer on him. I could see him possibly in Baltimore, Cleveland, who knows? But we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. So a lot to talk about with football just around the corner. And again, as I mentioned, on one of my social media pages, I'm not wishing the summer away. I've already got my plans in place for my high school football broadcast coming up starting in 5 weeks, I think, or 6 weeks, August 29th. But, you can see it. It's coming around the bend. Football is coming. But until then, enjoy your summer. Enjoy some baseball. like I mentioned on my article, which you can read all my articles on 12ouncesports.com, just hit the article tab. You know, there's nothing I like better in the summertime than sitting outside. Can't wait to do this next week when my family's listening to the music that I don't like. I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to go sit with a headphone or whatever with my favorite beverage and listen to some baseball. Nothing like a warm summer's evening sitting outside. Used to do it as a kid, listening to the Tigers, Ernie Harwell and Paul Carey, listening to Bob Uecker, who's still going strong, by the way, 90 years old or whatever, and listen to the Brewers. Used to listen to Jack Buck with St. Louis, on a clear night. Could listen to Joe Nuxhall in Cincinnati, Marty Brennaman, you name it. Just all kinds of different voices. That's what I love about baseball. I'm going to try to do that again next week. So, anyways, that's going to do it here tonight. I want to thank everybody for taking time out to be with us here on the Extravaganza. Again, we'll be off next week on vacation, but we'll have some little snippets I might share on our YouTube pages, on the Captain Lou Sports Network, and of course 12 Ounce Sports. So, and just check our social media outlets. Just like it says on the bottom, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch, you name it, and subscribe to our YouTube channels, the Captain Lou Sports Network, and of course 12 Ounce Sports. So, all right, that's going to do it. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. It's going to be an absolutely gorgeous Chamber of Commerce weekend coming up here in Michigan, weather-wise, and into next week. So if you're here in the area, get out and enjoy it. Have some fun with your family and your friends, all right? Give them a hug. Just tell them how much you care for them, all right? I know I'm going to do that as well. All right, everybody, until next time, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. Good night, everybody.